Testing, testing. I know I'm late. I'm hella late. I'm extremely late. I'm late. Right? My bad on being late. I was out adventuring and whatnot. But we gonna be playing some more Our Life. Okay? And we gonna be real chill. Like and I may or may not be partaking in some drinky drinks. And or shoddy shots, as they say. No one says that but me, but still. You know what I mean. And pitwades. We are definitely going to go ahead and switch on over to the game. And continue where we done left off, right? That is the sound of the drinky drink that I was talking about. Oh, you're okay. That's not at all what I wanted to happen. But you know what? That's okay. That's okay. This is exactly why I had a rag wrapped around it. Because I had a feeling it was going to get a little mischievous. I had a feeling. But yes, we're going to go ahead and continue. And turn my computer volume down. Woo! Yeah, this banana moonshine banging kind of. Woo. That do be kind of banging. Yeah, I think I got all the remnants off the side so the outside doesn't get sticky. But I can always actually clean it later. Way later. After screen, actually. I forget how many more little activities we gotta do before we're completely prepared for the wedding. If I remember correctly, we have my dress, I think, picked out. Maybe not my dress. I think we have an idea about my dress. We definitely have Cove's suit set up. His dance lessons are in progress. We got a venue. We got the spot where we're having our reception. Excuse me. I am attempting to entertain peeps. Thank you. Yeah, what else? Yeah. Dance progress, suit, locations, traditions, / ceremony, tiddlywinks and whatnot. That's all been set up. I forget what else is left. Did we not settle on the clothes? I could have swore we did settle on the clothes. You know what? Let's go with the caterer. See what we gonna get to eat. Oh wait, hold on.
Self-voicing enabled. Cove, all right.
There we go.
Cove's brightening enthusiasm was no surprise to you. Food always excited him.
Oh. Woo!
Baxter placed his hands on the arms of his chair and lightly tapped it with the tips of his fingers.
Okay.
In
Baxter,
that case,
that should be a nice time. I'll make sure you find the proper service to meet your needs, but don't worry, I won't get in the way of deciding any of the details for the menu.
Okay. Just for this, honestly.
Cove, thanks. Sage, I appreciate that. After that, the rest of the session circled around finding a specific catering company, and eventually you all agreed on one in particular. They were able to make arrangements with you right away. One phone call and you had scheduled a time to go over details in person. That included a meeting with the chef too.
Ooh, you meeting the chef? Chef Boyardee?
And, as an added bonus,
Ooh.
this would all happen before your next appointment with Baxter. It was a relief knowing that the menu would be taken care of by the next time you saw him again.
That is really fast, actually. It's like hella fast.
Until then, there wasn't much else to do. It was time to leave. Cove, thanks again for your help. Baxter,
see you.
it's my pleasure, of course. I await your next visit.
I still don't like you. And I'm not gonna pretend like I do. Do your job.
Sage, we'll be back soon. Bye. Baxter nodded with a genuine smile as he watched you head out the door. Once you were outside the offices, you noticed the little pep in Cove's step.
Oh, yeah? What's up, hubbin'?
You were both in good spirits. Chipping away at the wedding planning had a special way of doing that. On the scheduled appointment with the caterer, you and Cove eagerly arrived at the location specified over the phone.
Oh my gosh, Queeby. I got a question. Do we actually get to see what the caterer looks like? Or are we just gonna read about the caterer?
You were led inside the building past a seating room and directly into their commercial kitchen.
Oh, ooh, it look clean in here. Okay.
It was sleek, silver, and so clean that it sparkled. That observation alleviated some worries right away. Next to you, Cove's eyes wandered the space with intrigue.
Ooh.
Along the back wall, you spotted a woman at a sink large enough to be an arm's length deep. She looked over her shoulder and grinned broadly.
Sup?
Rhonda, hold on, I'll be right there.
Rhonda. I'm calling it right now. How much y'all want to bet she's black? How much y'all want to bet she black? Let's see.
She finished washing up and swiftly crossed the room, drying her hands on her apron. When she reached you and Cove, she gave a little bow.
My husband's so cute. Like, look at him. This man gorgeous. Nelly! I'm also here, but I'm late as fuck. I'm hella late. I was out adventuring at Duke's Bar and Grill. I was eating some hoisin salmon and some cheesesteak fries. And I had like 2 drinks. And now I'm taking shots at home because I want to feel buzzed. But I was like, my phone ain't charged. Let me just do something chill. And you know what? I do need to wrap up these wedding plans and tiwids. I'm finna get married. So I was like, you know what? It's been a little bit since I did some more progress with the wedding. So I was like, you know what? That's what I'm gonna do. That's what I'm gonna do.
Rhonda, hi, I'm the head chef and your caterer. I hear that you're getting married and are in need of sustenance for your friends and family.
We're putting in bets on whether or not our caterer, Rhonda, head chef and caterer, is black or not. It's a little blah. Just a little blah. That's funny. I needed that. Just a little blow. All right, somebody keep tally. Someone put 2 banana emojis in chat. Because I'm taking my second shot right now. But also, put in your vote on whether or not you think Rhonda's black. If they actually reveal what she looks like, if she has an actual character model.
Cove, yeah, we are.
He's so fucking cute. Oh my god.
Rhonda, well, I can assure you that you've come to the right place. We provide a full course meal with a menu tailored to your tastes and requirements.
Here goes the second one. Goosebumps, son. Thank you, Bear.
Rhonda, we'll also include all the plating, silverware, and glasses, but let's not get too ahead of ourselves. Why don't you introduce yourselves?
Oh, of course. Hi, hello. I'm Shiki Kamijo Holden. And this is my husband, Cove Kamijo Holden. And we are in dire need of your services.
A bit stunned by the speediness of the chef's candor, Cove took the opposite approach and slowly, awkwardly pointed to himself. Cove, I'm Cove. The groom.
I'm my husband.
Sage, and my name's Sage. I'm the bride.
Yeah.
Rhonda, I love it. You can call me Rhonda.
Rhonda Dawn Fonda. Okay. Okay. So I'm guessing she doesn't get a character model. A little sad.
Cove, okay, hi Rhonda. Sage, hi, Rhonda. Thanks a bunch for meeting with us. Rhonda, marvelous. Now I have a little pamphlet that I'm gonna go grab. Rhonda, you can read it, leave it on the counter, use it as a coaster. It's okay, I'm gonna explain everything myself anyways. Think of it as an extra guide. Rhonda waved the idea of any formality with both hands as she also shrugged nonchalantly. Cove chuckled shyly, leaning towards you while she lightly jogged to the other side of the kitchen.
What's up?
She scooped up 2 information sheets and came right back. Rhonda confidently stretched her arm out all the way to offer you each a pamphlet.
Thanks, Rhonda Dawn Fonda.
Both of you accepted one. Cove turned his around in his hands, inspecting it carefully. You studied the one in your hands too. Rhonda, well, now that I've remembered that, we can get into the nitty-gritty. Let's shop talk the menu.
Ooh, okay.
Rhonda, you can choose to have a single menu that's consistent across the board. Easy peasy. Or we can do up to 2 fully separate types of menus based on different dietary needs.
Okay.
Rhonda, guests could choose between them, and we'll prepare as much of both as needed.
Okay.
Rhonda, and it practically goes without saying, but we'll be able to accommodate individual plate changes if any comes up.
Okay.
Rhonda, for example, a situation where just 1 or 2 people need some specific elements left out. We can work with that without needing to make another full selection for it.
Makes sense.
Rhonda, so what kind of menu did you 2 have in mind?
I think I'd definitely go for a split menu. Because if I remember correctly, I think my sister's vegetarian, ? So having some vegan options would be good. Even if she's not vegetarian. Somebody that's female that's close to me is vegetarian. It's either my cousin or my sister. Either of them two. Either of them. Either or, because I know I don't identify as a vegetarian. One of them hoes is vegetarian, and that's perfectly fine. So, if we could have some vegetarian options, we gonna do that. No special. Blah, 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 blah. Left it all up to code.
Sage Kamijo.
Okay. One with full-scale exclusions for taste and allergies.
Vegetarian.
Politarian. Pescatarian.
And we'd like a second one that was. One with full-scale exclusions for taste and allergies.
Exclusions. I'm trying to... I don't know why. My brain can't process what the word exclusions means. Like, I know what it means. To exclude something is to take it out. Or to not include it, right? Hey, Google. What does exclusion mean? Like, I know I'm right, but still. I gotta double check. I don't like not being right. Hello? Are you not gonna tell me what it means? Question mark. Somebody tell me I'm right. I know I'm right, but I needed to double check. Brother, what are you doing? Hey Google, exclusion definition. Wow, my Google is really not cooperating. All right, never fucking mind then. Alexa, what does exclusion mean?
Exclusion refers to the act of excluding or the state of being excluded. It means to exclude or keep out.
Yeah.
Seem to give you more definitions for exclusion. By the way,
To exclude or leave out.
you want to do it?
No. One with full-scale exclusions for taste and allergies.
One with full-scale exclusions for taste and allergies.
One with no special requirements.
Rhonda, not a problem.
I think that would be better, honestly. Having like a full vegetarian menu, so that way whoever wants it can have it, and then having one that's, you know, fully able to be moved around however is also fine.
The chef pulled out a notepad and pen. She listened closely as you explained the types of foods you'd like to be excluded based on the individual needs of your group. Turning to Cove, you checked to see if he had opinions on the menu.
Yes.
Sage, how does that sound? Cove, I'm thinking that we have a good plan going.
He's so fucking beautiful, bro. Oh my god.
Sage, great. Rhonda, that's the biggie already done then. Let's keep that ball rolling. Sage, alright, what's next on the agenda? Rhonda, at the minimum there's gonna be a main entree in our service, so that's one course automatically. Rhonda, and if you're having cake or another dessert that'll technically be another course for your guests. Rhonda, although that doesn't count as one of the portions that we offer here. I can go up to 6 courses, the dinner and as many as 5 additional portions.
Ooh. Okay.
Rhonda, so we're looking at salad, soup, a hot appetizer, a cold appetizer, and / or a palate cleanser. Do you know how big you want the service to be?
Man looks excited as hell. He's like 5 courses. 6 courses. I'm gonna need a third banana in there. I'm pouring up the third one. kind of tastes like whipped cream, but like banana whipped cream. It does taste like Nana pudding, but like it definitely tastes like it has whipped cream in it, which I'm not opposed to because who doesn't love whippy cream? But still, how big do I want the service? I mean, let me think. If you were for a weapon, right? Definitely. I'm gonna want at least something hot or cold because you never know what people might be in the mood for. Chrissy! Hello, welcome to the Scream. This may or may not be a partially buzzed and or drink stream. But hello, welcome to the Scream. I'm so glad you're here. Bear, I need that third banana emoji. Yeah, I definitely want something hot or cold at my wedding, quote unquote. Because we're having it outside. No. I think we're having the ceremony inside and the reception outside in that poppy field, I think. So if it's going to be warm, I don't think a whole lot of people may want to eat something hot. So, yeah. I'm drinking some more of my Old Smoky Tennessee moonshine. The Nana pudding flavor. I am on my third, I'm about to be on my third shot. I had 2 drinky drinks at Duke's with my dinner. I had the mango mambo. And I also had what's the other one I got? It wasn't the same one I got when we went with the twins. It was, I sent it in the group chat on Instagram. I legit forget what it was. Oh, the tropical creamsicle. That's what it was. It had cream of coconut in it, but I could barely taste the coconut, which I was definitely really happy about because I don't like coconut. I'm not a big fan of coconut, but you could just barely taste it, and that's totally fine. I don't know. I don't think my body really agrees with like cream liqueurs that much for whatever reason. So I would have gotten I might have gotten it to try if my body liked cream liqueurs. But like I've had some in the past and my body is like, what the fuck is this shit? What are you giving me? I don't want it. But no, it was the tropical creamsicle and a mango mambo. I almost got a third drink, but I was like, nah, let me stop. I got drink at home. This is just 2 to get me started. I got more than enough for what I need at home. Let me chill. Like I got the rest of this. I got to finish off. Technically, I shouldn't even be drinking it because it hasn't been refrigerated in a day. And I was supposed to refrigerate it after opening it, which I did until yesterday when I took 3 shots before I went to bed. Not like right before I went to bed, but like obviously a decent amount of time before I went to bed. And then I forgot to put it back in the fridge because I was too goddamn tired. So since yesterday evening, it's been sitting on my desk, not uncovered, just got the top on, but like it's just been sitting in my room. Tastes the same. Honestly, it tastes a little more powerful. If you get what I'm saying. It tastes a little more potent since it's just been sitting at room temp. I feel like it's weaker. Like it tastes weaker when it's cold. And honestly, if it's not a drink I'm paying for, if I'm making it myself, I'd rather it be room temp. I don't really like my drinks when I make them at home to be cold. I feel like it like messes with my mojo too much. But MP Wades, enough with my teeny weeny ramping. Let me take this third shot. Ooh. Hoo-wee. I need that third banana emoji now. Somebody put it in the chat. I need 3. I gotta keep track. But back to the main task at hand. How big do I want my service to be? A 6-course meal sounds absolutely no. I was about to say diabolical. I'm like, nah, that's not diabolical. That's just big. Like, who's eating 6 rounds? Like, legit. 3 is like the norm. I think 4 would be good because dinner is 1, dessert is 1, and everybody's most likely gonna want dessert. Because at my wedding, I would have a kind of larger scale version of my actual wedding cake or whatever my combo for my wedding cake would be for my guests to have. Literally, like 1 through 6 is crazy. I'm like, imagine 6 courses at a fucking wedding. That sounds overwhelming as hell. But yeah, dinner's 1, dessert is 1, so that's 2. And then if you want a salad, you can get a salad. If you want something hot, you can get something hot. And or if you don't get something hot, you can get something cold. I think 4 is more than enough for like a regular person, even if they're actually legit hungry. I think 4 is completely reasonable. 3 might also just be fine. But per se, if you go to someone's wedding and they have a version of their wedding cake specifically for the guests to also have to, you know, like share in the moment and all that, because obviously you're not getting a slice of my actual wedding cake. You'll get a little mini version of it or whatever. I would rather them have that, because if I'm making a whole thing, like if I'm getting me a super bougie cake knife to cut my shit with, ain't nobody touching that cake except me and my husband. That cake is for us. You or me. That wedding cake is for us. Okay? And then, you know, the guests also get to have some, just not of that specific cake. You will get one that's just like it, but it's not the wedding cake. You know what I mean?
Having a 4-course meal would be fantastic. Do you think so? Cove, 4 courses.
I know anything above 2 is completely fine with you, sweetheart. But don't be extra. We this is coming out of our pocket, as far as I know. Clifford, aka Papa-in-law, ain't paying for the wedding. Neither of my mams are paying for the wedding. My sister ain't paying for the wedding. My mama-in-law is not paying for the wedding. This is coming out of our pockets, right? Me and my husband's pockets. It's coming out of our money, okay? I'm not going to be cheap about it, but I'm not going to be extravagant with it either. It's going to be what we both want, and it's going to be nice. It's going to be how we both envision it. And that's how I would want it in real life also. As much as I would want to, like, you know, fantasize it up and make it, like, super bougie and everything else, at the end of the day, it is just one day. And I'm not saying not to go all out, but the day itself is not only mine. That day does not just belong to me. I may or may not be given the reins in a real life situation to, handle everything wedding related. Oh, you do the decorations. Oh, you do this. Oh, you do that. You're so good at it. Blah, blah, blah. You're so good at planning. Blah, 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 blah. Totally fine. But I am still going to need my husband's input when it comes to what the day is going to look like as a whole. Because it's not just about me. I'm not marrying myself. I'm marrying my husband. My husband is marrying me. You know what I mean? So, if I'm envisioning something akin to Rainbow Road, but a night version where the road is not a rainbow, but it is a night sky, and my husband is envisioning actual Rainbow Road, those are totally different things. But that does not mean that we can't have both. We could always have a night road on the bottom, and we could have a rainbow road on the top, on the left, or the right, or something else. We can figure it out. We can combine the two. It could be half night road, half rainbow road, or something. We could have stripes. Rainbow road, night road, or something. It's not supposed to be just one person doing all of it. Both people are supposed to be involved. As far as I know, I'm pretty sure in most merujas, it don't really seem like the husbands give a fuck. As long as they get their lady at the end of it all, they don't give a shit about anything else, for the most part. But me though, nah, I'm gonna need your 2 cents. If you want an extra course because you feel like 4 isn't enough, okay, we'll add in an extra course. If you feel like you want to add in another option for the catering because you feel like 2 different menus isn't enough, or the 2 options we picked don't accommodate one of your parents or someone that you invited specifically, and you want to include what their dietary restrictions are in our menu for the wedding, that's also fine. That's something we can talk over because this isn't permanent yet. We're not at a point with the catering where, okay, well, we have it set in the system as this and we're beyond the point of no return. We just got here and we're still deciding everything. So we can talk it all out still, just like everything up until this point, everything we'd already been talking about. I want my husband's input because I want the day to also be like what he envisions, not just what I want. Because it ain't just about me. And I will be goddamned if my husband feels as if our wedding day was just me cracking the whip the whole time. As much as he'd probably be completely fine with that, in my heart of hearts, that's not what I would want for our day. Yes, it's my day, but it's also his day. And hell, I know for a fact that I would definitely be stressing it a lot more than he would. It still should look how he wants it to look too, not just me.
Raising an eyebrow, Cove burst into a small fit of laughter. When he collected himself, he rubbed his arm, watching you closely like he wasn't entirely sure if you were being serious or not.
You mean you're not excited about there being more than 3 courses? I'm confused now. Who are you? You love to eat.
Cove, I didn't think we'd go that high, but I'm not complaining. I wanted at least one thing besides the main meal anyways.
That makes sense. Only 2 courses though? That's all you wanted? I mean, it's okay. I think 4 is more than enough, honestly. 4 could be a little extra. 5, I feel like is 6 is extreme. 6 is way too fucking much. Like, that's if you just trying to blow money. For real. 6 courses? 6 courses, you just blowing money. 5, you being hella generous, because that's a lot. 4, I feel like, you know, you can cover some extra bases with 4. And three's just, you know, three's basic. That's borderline, you know? Most places, like events, even have 3 courses. Like small scale, like catering events, parties, things like that. Those have 3-course meals. Weddings, depending on the people participating, the people, you know, front running everything, they may or may not have the budget to add on an extra course. If I could, real life, 100%, I'm gonna have 4 courses. Because if I were a guest at this wedding, I would definitely be wanting to, you know, I want my share. And honestly, it's all a part of the experience anyway. Just imagine how amazing the fucking food would taste. Imagine what the decorations would look like. Imagine what the desserts would look like. Imagine the photo ops, nigga. Let me stop. just imagining it in my head. 4 seems like a perfectly viable option. So, yeah.
Rhonda, 4 courses then, at
Yeah.
Cove, sounds like it. Rhonda, do you know what you'd like for it?
Oh, we have to pick? I thought it would be based on whatever the individual chooses.
Cove, I want one of them to be a soup.
Okay.
Sage, that's a yummy choice. I'm sold.
Mm-hmm.
Rhonda, okay, we have an entree and a soup agreed on. Sage, yup. The chef glanced up from her notepad. She twirled the pen with her fingertips in anticipation. Rhonda, it's coming along nicely so far. What else were you thinking?
Palate cleanser, salad course.
A palate cleanser.
Where's dessert though? Is dessert not on here? I mean, if it comes up later, literally, what kind of soup? No clue. If he says like French onion or some shit, I'm getting a divorce. Because who the fuck is eating onion soup? Make that make sense? Ain't nobody eating no damn onion soup, Cove James. Ain't nobody eating no damn onion soup now. Honestly, I don't think Cove likes onions all that much. Honestly, I feel like that would be like one of the rare things he doesn't fucking eat. I know I fucking wouldn't, because why? French onion soup. I don't want broth in onion boiled in broth soup. That's not what I want to eat. Why would I want to eat that? But yeah, soup. I would say a palate cleanser then, maybe.
A palate cleanser.
Cause honestly, I'd want my stuff to be nice and chilled before I stuff my face with some dessert. Honestly, but it's not here. Pretty sure they'll bring it up, but let's see.
A cold appetizer.
Oh no, never mind. So then, does dessert not count as one of the 4? Honestly, I think a salad course would be good because it may or may not be
A
hot.
salad course.
It may or may not be hot, and if we're gonna be outside, having like a nice crisp salad and some heat sounds kind of banging. Some nice crunchy cucumbers, some croutons with like the shredded cheese and like the really I don't think it's julienne. I don't think it's julienne cut, the ones I'm thinking of. But you know exactly the cut of carrot I'm talking about that comes in like salads, like the super like French fry style, like the tiny cut ones. Like they look like little pillars kind of sort of, but they're like squares, like really long, like rectangular cut, super thin, super like dumb thin carrots that come in salads majority of the time. Those with like some thick shreds of cheese, some ranch, either some arugula, some spinach, or some lobus. You know, like you have it in like a container, you like shake it up so that way the ranch gets coated and like everything. Ooh. Amazing, amazing salad. Amazing salad. But it has to have croutons. If it don't got croutons, it's not a real salad. Can't
salad
change my
course.
mind. You can't change my mind.
Rhonda, perfection. This'll be tasty. Rhonda, oh. And how much heat are you expecting for the dishes? We can keep it all very mild or we can easily push the spice levels up.
Oh, I didn't think that would be a question we'd be getting asked about the food. Let's see. Honestly, I can't think of anyone in the entire group that would eat something that's spicy. I feel like if there's anybody out of the entire small group of people we know that would eat something spicy, it would be between my mom, Pamela, and Kira, Cove's mom. I feel like Cliff could not eat anything spicy to save his fucking life. I feel like he would be screaming bloody fucking murder if he ever came in contact with something spicy. Cove, I feel like he'd like maybe complain, but he'd still be like, nah, it still tasted good. It's just too spicy. Blah, 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 blah. I feel like my sister would not like anything spicy. My cousin probably has too gentle of a stomach. Probably wouldn't like anything spicy. You know what? I feel like Terry Whittle Y, who is now a guy, would probably not mind anything spicy. Probably be totally fine with it. I feel like Derek would probably be super in. Would be super into spicy shit. I feel like he would be because I think he's supposed to be Hispanic. But I could be wrong. Don't quote me on that. He could be Hispanic. I believe I'm under the impression that he is supposed to be Hispanic. But I could be wrong. And even still, that does not mean that he vibe with spicy shit. That do not mean that he vibe with spicy shit. But yeah. I think mild is definitely fine. Cause me, I don't eat a lot of spicy stuff. Like for real, like in real life, I don't really fuck with spicy shit all that often. Like, you know, I might have me, you know, like some spicy chili every once in a while, but even then, it's nothing crazy. Like it's not gonna have you like it's not gonna have you over here with your mouth running like a faucet. Like that kind of spicy. It's not gonna be like that. I don't eat hot wings. I don't eat spicy wings. The spiciest I'll get from my wings is honey barbecue. And yes, I know that's not spicy at all, but that's besides the point. Like, if I had to think of the spiciest thing I've ever actually eaten, it's gonna sound so tame, I already know. It's between a freshly opened bag of hot Cheetos and the spicy salmon bowl that my ex used to make me. It was like the perfect kind of spicy though, and it has sriracha. I never knew I liked sriracha until I had that bowl. whenever I attempt to make it, I can never get the amount of sriracha right. I either don't put enough, or when I'm like trying to slowly add it bit by bit to get it perfect, I can never get it the way he had it. And I'm just like, damn. Damn. um Honestly, I'm gonna ask for Cove's opinion on this. I would definitely go with mild as a base because I don't know what everyone's preferences are when it comes to spiciness on food. So having it just be plain to mild for the most part would be a good starting point since they can make accommodations for individual orders anyway. If, say, like my sister or my mom wants some spice added to whatever they're getting to eat, the caterer is going to accommodate that. And they'll have the means to do so. So,
You
darling.
looked over at Cove, waiting for him to answer. Cove met your eye, and you could tell that he was mulling over the same problem. And then you caught the light bulb moment in the way that he brightened. Cove, how about we keep the meals mild, and we put out sauces and stuff on the table so people can adjust the food to their preferences? Is that possible?
I believe so, darling, yes.
Rhonda, yes, of course we can do that.
Nice.
Sage, that's a perfect idea. Cove's suggestion made sense, but his cheeks still reddened from your compliment, and that only made your grin widen.
He's so freaking cute. Why are you so cute, bro?
Rhonda, yawned.
Huh? What'd he say?
The chef backtracked through her notes for a second. She thought over everything that you all had discussed until she could pin down exactly what was slipping her mind. Rhonda, what about the drinks?
Drinks. Drinks, you say?
Rhonda, are we a just water please party, a coffee and tea group, or hard drinkers? There's always at least going to be water even if you have other options. So don't worry about that.
I would hope so. Do. Heavy drinkers, huh?
Sage, oh, I'd like there to be.
Whatever Cove wants.
Just, milk. Whatever Cove wants.
Because it's also your wedding, so I'd like to know your preferences. But if it comes back to me, I would definitely do liqueurs. Liqueurs. Maybe some tea. What else? Oh, well, that explains that, actually. Hold on. Sorry, I had to fix a message. I would definitely want liqueurs, tea for the ones who do not partake, and or fruit juices or wine for those who don't want something as hard. Just a little bit of everything, because I feel like coffee at a wedding. Who's drinking coffee? at a wedding. Let's be real. Ain't nobody drinking no fucking coffee at a damn wedding. Like, legit be serious for once. Stop it.
Whatever Cove wants. Bashful over your directness, Cove softly offered his suggestion.
Go on, sweet pea.
Cove, can we have some fruit juice options there along with the water? Sage, definitely.
Of course, sweet pea.
He beamed. You'd do nearly anything to keep putting that delight on his face.
Nearly anything. Ain't no nearly. I would. Fuck. Alright.
Liquors,
Mm-hmm.
beers, tea, milk, sparkling water.
Definitely not beer. We are sophisticated peoples, okay? We're not drinking no goddamn piss water. Not at my damn wedding, we're not.
Mixed cocktails.
Milk. Well, ain't gonna be no babies, so
Be-
the hell we drinking milk for?
And that's everything I'm thinking.
Yeah, we're not drinking milk, we're not drinking coffee, and we're definitely sure as fuck not drinking no goddamn beer.
Cove, I think we covered it. There's nothing else I'd want to add.
Mm-hmm.
Rhonda, we'll make it happen. So, that's the menu type, meal scale, spice level, and beverage basics.
Mm-hmm.
Pleased, Rhonda rolled her sleeves up. Her gaze fell on you and Cove with a new determined gleam. Rhonda, let's go deeper.
Huh?
Cove smiled nervously at the chef's intensity, but he didn't wilt completely. You had a sneaking suspicion his remaining strength came from the topic still being about food.
Makes sense.
The conversation continued from there. It dug into the specifics such as the main protein and side ingredients, the style of cuisine the foods would be based on, and so on and on. It took a fair bit of time, but eventually a finalized selection was arranged. You couldn't get over how delicious everything sounded the longer the conversation went. By the end, Cove appeared just as relieved and excited as you were about the food. But most of all, you were so grateful to have a set menu plan for the wedding.
Mm-hmm.
Rhonda, however, hadn't slowed down at all. Rhonda, I see that you're both settling down for a rest, but just hang on and stay with me a little longer. We're not done yet.
What else is there, though?
Cove, oh, there's something else? Rhonda, yes, and it's called presentation. Rhonda, we can do all levels of flair for your meal. Were you picturing a plain Jane approach or something more hoity-toity?
I was definitely expecting the voice to fuck that up. But the fact that it legit actually pronounced hoity-toity is hilarious. That's funny. I don't know. I mean, I don't mind a pretty plate, especially at a wedding where it's supposed to be kind of like upper scale, you know? I wouldn't mind it being a little hoity-toity. Little bougie, as they say. But plain is also fine, but this is a weapon. This is a weapon. Okay? So, we'll go with
I'd
this
like
one.
it if some care was put into the arrangement. Cove, yeah, it would be kinda nice if it felt special for that day of all times.
See, we on the same wavelength. At least it's not just like, it's whatever, I don't really care, as long as there's food. Like,
Rhonda, that works for us. Rhonda, so, as I started to talk about way back when, we'll provide the plates and utensils and such. Rhonda, our plates are white, but they can be completely plain or have little swirly details around the edges. What do you think of that? Before you or Cove could even consider giving an answer, she held both her hands up to stop that and stole a glance over her shoulder.
You got plates you can show us as examples?
Rhonda, wait, give me another SEC, I'll grab some stacks. You should see before choosing anything.
Makes sense.
Again, without leaving a window to say anything in response, Rhonda darted off deeper into the kitchen. Cove stared at her as she went. His expression was deadpan.
You think he'd be excited about it, but maybe not. It is just plates.
Cove, you can pick the plates.
Okay. I guess he legit don't give a shit about the plates. Does it look like I want to pick out the plates? Alright, I'll handle it. Like, He just, like, legit doesn't really care, which is fine. It's like, as long as there's something on the plates, I think that's all he cares about.
Thank you. An abrupt clattering came from the direction she disappeared down, and a moment later, your caterer had reappeared. She kept her word and had piles of plates balanced in each of her hands. She stepped up to a clear counter space. Rhonda spoke cheerily, almost musically, while laying out the first set of plates and some forks to go with them, perhaps so you knew for sure what they'd look like together. Rhonda, here's the huai.
That's hella plain.
Cove looked on distantly, but you leaned forward to properly scrutinize the pure white dinner plates.
I need some black plates, son.
Rhonda, and there's the swirl.
Oh, the swirl is pretty nice, actually.
As promised, this time there was an extra design element on the plates. You considered it carefully.
Definitely the swirls.
Rhonda, now what are you thinking?
Nah, I'm going with the swirl,
I like the
son.
swirly one.
Exactly.
Rhonda, got it? Rhonda, thanks for humoring me. Rhonda, and now, you can breathe. We're done. Rhonda laughed happily as she closed her notepad and put it aside. Cove, okay, cool. I'm glad we have that worked out. Thank you very much, Rhonda. Sage, that's great. Thanks for all the help. Rhonda, it's my pleasure. We're looking forward to knocking your socks off.
Okay.
Rhonda, it'll be a 4-course double menu, mild meal that your guests will be talking about for years to come. I promise. Cove, neat, one last quick question.
Oh?
Rhonda, sure thing. Cove, how do we get out of here again?
Oh? In a rush to leave? Okay.
Rhonda clapped her hands and let out a deep laugh. Cove's face reddened with embarrassment.
Oh, you want to be alone with me? Don't get me started.
Rhonda, go down the hall and take a left to another hall, then a right, and then you'll find the exit. It was so nice meeting you too. Cove, thanks. Again. After that, you and Cove left the kitchen and made it out of the building in one piece following Rhonda's instructions. You both returned to the car with a vigor in your strides. It was amazing to get such a nice meal arranged and exactly the way that you both wanted it to be. The food was definitely something you were going to be daydreaming about from now until the big day.
Hee.
When you arrived at the office again, Baxter was already comfortably seated and scanning over his notebook. He glanced up from it at the sound of the door opening. Baxter,
Hello, folks.
welcome back. What's on the menu?
I still don't like you.
Baxter smirked, but Cove answered with complete earnestness. Cove, a lot of things. Baxter, delicious.
What? The fuck type reaction is that? Delicious? Question mark? The fuck does that mean?
Baxter, what shall we be doing today?
This man is so weird. Why is he like this? This man is weird. I think the cake should be last. So we're definitely gonna do our clothes.
I'd want to settle on our clothes for the day.
I could have sworn that we picked out his suit already. I wanted him to wear a vest. I think a blue shirt. A blue shirt, a vest. Black suit, blue shirt, vest, corsage. And I think maybe a tie? No. I didn't get him a tie. I wanted him to wear a corsage instead of a tie. I don't remember. It's been a while.
Baxter, wonderful. He clapped his hands together at the thought. Baxter, I can imagine you'll both look incredible. So,
Don't talk like that.
Baxter, I recall that the two of you are intending to keep the outfits nice and secret for the special day. Baxter, does that mean that you're each shopping alone, or were you thinking about extending the invitation to someone else? Cove, I want my dad to come. Cove, it sounds like something a best man should do, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I know my mom would want to come too, but she doesn't live close, so, you know. Cove shrugged weakly. Baxter nodded with a faint quirk of humor in his expression.
Don't be weird, man.
Cove, it'll be nice for mom to see it on our actual wedding day, though.
Of course.
Baxter, of course.
Stop talking to me, weirdo. I don't like your tone.
You felt for Cove, familiar with the issue yourself. You could think of a few geographically unavailable people it would have been nice to bring with you as well.
Well, you definitely want it to be a surprise, so...
That'll for sure be a fun surprise for her. Cove, yeah. Even though it would have been nice for Cove to share the experience with his mom, you were sure that no matter what Cove wore, Kyra would still be just as excited to see him on the big day. And it was great that he'd still be able to bring his dad. Sage, make sure you tell him that I said hi. For your own shopping adventure, you pictured how you wanted the experience to go. Then you directed your attention back at Baxter, finally ready to answer his question.
I think it's more traditional to have like your moms or parents with you when the bride goes dress shopping, or at least like the maid of honor, I want to say. But maid of honor isn't even one of the choices. But I don't know. I suppose this all makes sense too. But if I could pick, I'd rather surprise my moms with my dress. And only have my maid of honor know what my dress looks like. Because obviously she's not going to spill the beans. But I guess I'll go with my mom's.
I'm gonna go with my mom's. You welcomed your mom's help on this shopping adventure. The trip was far less likely to end up with you scrutinizing yourself in a mirror when trying on the 13th outfit for 15 minutes, trying to judge it and the previous dozen options yourself.
Also true, yeah.
With that decided, Baxter rubbed his hands together in satisfaction. Baxter, perfect. Baxter, but, before you run off on that next outing, it would be best to choose where you're going.
Where? Question mark?
Baxter, do you have a preference on which store or stores you'd like to visit? There are 2 excellent local shops that should be able to set you both up with whatever you need. Baxter, one is primarily a dress boutique, but it also has romper and skirt options. The accessory selection is also divine. Baxter, there is also a shop that focuses on suits, pantsuits, skirt suits, they have it. They also have all the relevant additions that you'd be likely to want.
I guess.
Cove, I'm gonna wear a suit, so I guess I'll need to go to the suit shop.
What do
Baxter,
you think?
and you, Sage.
Well, the dress shop. I'm not wearing a
I
suit.
want to get my outfit at the boutique.
It's
Baxter,
doable.
that works. Cove nodded in agreement.
Lovely.
Baxter, lovely. You make this so easy for me.
Nah, maybe it's me tripping taking that particular line out of context. Yeah, that's all me. Don't mind me. I'ma shut up.
Baxter sounded pleased as he reached over for his notebook on the nearby desk. He clicked his pen and jotted something down. Baxter, I'll leave the rest up to you, and I'll see you both during our next session. Good luck. His smile was curled but bright. He waved you both off.
Excuse me?
Cove, thanks. Cove's voice was nervous as he started to shuffle out. You got up, following him. Time passed from your meet.
Hold
Baxter, I can get everything arranged today if that works. Time passed from your meeting with your planner, and soon, both you and Cove were going out for the big shopping trip. You temporarily said goodbye to your fiancé.
Bye, honey bunny. Bye, honey bun. Have fun finding your suit. I just know it's gonna look amazing.
You hugged Cove and he squeezed you back with a big grin on his face. Cove, have fun, Sage.
Don't even worry about it. I'ma just shrug. It's not that big a deal.
I will.
I'm planning on having fun. Hell.
You were excited. Hopefully you'd find the perfect outfit that day. Your car beeped when you unlocked it and you climbed in the driver's seat. Cove waved you off when you left.
Bye, honey.
You swung by the neighborhood and picked up your parents along the way. Mom and Ma joked about who called shotgun first and who would spread out in the back seat. It was a pleasant drive, full of light conversation. For example, you learned that there was a rumor going around Sunset Bird about finally fixing up the old park.
Not my park. There wasn't even anything wrong with it.
Ma doubted it was going to happen, since apparently it had been going around the grapevine for a while. Mom didn't think there would be smoke without a fire. Ma, but that's getting off topic. What are you hoping to find today, Sage? You mentioned a few of your ideas and your parents listened eagerly, chattering about possible ideas for the rest of the drive. Up ahead was a very proper, fancy building. You could tell it was going to be really nice. You entered the boutique and took in the view. The first thing you noticed was how warmly lit the shop was. Despite most of the merchandise being stark whites, the lights had a soft glow. It was fanciful, like a fairytale place where dreams could come true. The dresses had room to breathe, each displayed like it was a treasure. In the air, there was a faint scent. You thought it was something floral, but you also thought that something smelled like vanilla as well. Whatever it was pretty and not overwhelming. Mom, fancy. Ma's eyes narrowed as she scrutinized the place.
Well, damn, huh?
Ma, yes. This should do well. Mom chuckled as she walked further into the shop. Mom, well, if Lonnie says it's acceptable, then we're in good shape. A woman with an official-seeming binder stepped across the floor, her high heels not clacking once. She made eye contact with you and smiled. Stylist, hello. Is Sage here? Sage, you got it? I'm Sage. Gabrielle, MHM, thank you for coming and congratulations. My name is Gabrielle and I'll be your stylist today. Gabrielle, we'll do everything we can to find you your dream look for the day. She grinned brightly and gestured for you to follow her. She led you over to a sitting area.
Ooh, premium seatage.
Gabrielle, 1 SEC before you settle in, let me get a few measurements. You obliged, and Gabrielle took a measuring tape from her pocket and wrapped it around you. You could tell that she had a lot of practice with how efficient she was at it. Gabrielle, thanks so much. Now, feel free to sit. We can get this going. You sat in the middle of the seats. It seemed appropriate, and with how the spots were arranged, as you'd be able to get up and out easily. That'd be helpful considering why you were there. Your mom's filed into a couple open seats. Ma still seemed to be inspecting her surroundings while Mom beamed at you. Gabrielle flipped over her binder and tapped the laminated pages with her manicured nails. Gabrielle, to get an idea of your vision, I have a few questions for you. Gabrielle, this will guide the selection process. I find it makes things a little more manageable if I bring you options based on your preferences instead of you going over every single piece we've got. Gabrielle, we wouldn't want to overwhelm you. Ma smirked but made no comment. She had supervised a boutique since you were a child and likely knew more than most of the employees here. However, you appreciated that she was respectful of their process. Gabrielle, I know it's a lot to think about all at once, but just take it one question at a time and remember that we can always go in another direction later if you want. Sage, cool. I'm ready.
La 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 la. I need a piece of ice. I'll be right back. Oh. I also need to close my window. Get a little chilly. Get a little chilly. Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god. I also need to plug up my phone before it dies. Okay, I'm back. I'm back.
The stylist handed the questionnaire over to you and you schemed over the questions. It got more detailed as it went, but the start was fairly simple. The type of clothing you wanted brought out was a dress. That was
I think we're kinda
Sage Kamajo, APR 26, 2052, Sage Kamijo, APR 27, over, save slot, Sage Com, oh, save, save, save,
We're kind of deciding on it now. I don't know if they'll actually show my dress per se, but still, in traditional shade or non-traditional shade. Honestly, like 100% in real life, I wouldn't really care to have a white dress. I would definitely have a black dress for my wedding. It has nothing to do with purity or none of that other shit. I just like black. And honestly, a black gown, black gowns don't miss. Black gowns are fucking gorgeous. Like, to me personally, a black gown will always beat out a white gown. Hands the fuck down. No fucking contest.
in a non-traditional shade. Specifically,
What options we got? Ooh. Imagine a blue wedding dress, though. Actually, I could imagine that. An open back, holder top, like dark blue gown as a wedding dress. Oh, that would be so fucking nice. Oh my goodness. Same style, but in black. Yes.
black. With what kind of garment you wanted and the desired color filled out, the questionnaire transitioned into more style-based questions.
Mm-hmm.
You went down the list, picking out descriptor after descriptor that sounded best.
I think a fusion will probably be better.
Fusion. Textured cloth.
I'm trying to imagine it in my head. Black texture or shiny? Cause matte? Nah. Matte ain't gonna cut it for my webbing. But do I want something shiny? I think textured would probably be good. Well. If it ain't OTs, I'm eating on iced. Like how you came in to ask me what I'm eating. Like, no hi, no hello, nothing. Just, what are you eating? I'm eating iced because I already had dinner. But also, welcome to the Scream. So, there's also that. Yeah, I know. Textured cloth, I think, would be better. So I'm gonna go with that one.
Textured cloth.
right at the top, then puffing out. I'm really trying to think about it, what kind of dress I'd want for my actual wedding. 'Cause I'd want a really nice gown. And I'd want it fitted at the top. Because, like, when I'm reading well-fitted or well-fitting, I'm thinking of, like, say a summer dress in terms of the way it fits. Like, it's taut against the body, right? Real slim in, real sucked in, you know? Like, it fits the way it's supposed to. And then flowy would be slightly more loose. Frilly is even more loose than that. And then the other two are a combination. So, personally, since
Fitted at
I
the top
like...
and then flowing out.
I like gowns, like actual like like dressy dresses. I like ones that are flowy. For my wedding, I'd have one that flows. And also, when you're moving around, that shit looks fucking amazing. Me. So, we going to fit it at the top. And then flowing out. Laced or beaded? Well, with time, I don't know how the beads would hold up. And I know that in terms of how this shop works, it's not going to be a custom dress. They're going to find one in their selection that they have, which means that someone may or may not also have had the exact same dress as me at some point, which I would hate for myself. I would not want to have a dress that somebody else had at my own wedding. I'd want that shit to be one of a kind, just like me, because I ain't no goddamn unintentional copycat. Fuck that. But in terms of the game, I would definitely go with lace.
Lace. Short sleeved.
3/4 sleeves. No. All right. 3/4 sleeves, I think, is just stupid. Like, it might as just complete the sleeve. Like, what are you doing? You gonna stop right above the elbow? Like, what the fuck? That sounds stupid. It sounds like you gave up halfway. Like, what the hell? Also, I'm trying to think of short sleeve dresses, and the only kind of short sleeve dresses I can think of are ones with puffy shoulders, like Princess Peach's dress or Daisy's dress. For my dress, if it was gonna be a halter top, halters don't really have sleeves. So let me see. I think I'm gonna go with
Long sleeve.
long sleeved for now. Floor length, ankle length, knee
Floor
length.
length.
Stop it. It needs to be on the floor. I'ma hate every moment of it. But I would expect for this floor to be spit shined before I walk up in that bitch. So by the time I go to change out of that dress, it would be just as clean as it was the day I bought it. And or after I had it cleaned. Because if it's not a custom dress, I'm definitely not putting it on fresh after I bought it. I'm getting that shit cleaned at a cleaners. You know, because you never know, you know. Oh wait, floor length.
Floor length.
There we go.
Finally, you handed the binder back to the stylist. She ran her gaze up and down the page. Gabrielle, I'm on it. I'll go get you something.
Let's see if we seed any dresses.
Gabrielle turned on her heels and headed to the back of the store, out of sight. The distinct sound of the stylist's heels deliberately not clacking on the floor alerted you that she was coming back. She carried a dress that seemed right out of what you pictured from the questionnaire.
Oh yeah?
It was the right color, right fabric, the style you indicated.
Oh?
Seeing all the elements put together in a single piece, the dress had a stylish feel to it.
But do I get to see it though?
Mom,
Great.
you'd look amazing in that, and you'd follow your ma's footsteps with that kind of style.
Really?
Ma, true, it's wonderful, and not just because I also would wear something like it.
That's hilarious.
Gabrielle, what do you think, Sage? This is it. Your stylist lit up at your approval. She held the dress closer to you. Gabrielle, then you should put it on. The stylist walked you to the changing room, a generously sized space with a full mirror closed off by a heavy curtain. She hung the dress on a metal hook. Gabrielle, now, before I give you some privacy, would you like me to grab any accessories to complete the look?
Imagine wearing a jacket with your wedding dress. That would be so fucking funny. But if I'm gonna be wearing long sleeves, I won't need a bracelet. We me. But I definitely want to train.
A train. A bracelet. An anklet. That's everything. A jack.
An earring.
Earrings. A veil.
And I think that's everything.
That's everything. You shared your ideas with the stylist. From your description, she had something in mind and left you to collect what you requested. You closed the curtain after Gabrielle was gone. You were glad that there was a space to put your clothes when you changed out of them. You slipped into the dress. It fit well for something off the rack. Gabrielle knew what she was doing with sizing. You inspected yourself before you left the dressing room. The view from the mirror was breathtaking. You truly were about to have a wedding.
Yeah, boy.
You slid the thick cloth partition aside and stepped back to the main floor of the shop. You paused in front of another well-lit mirror and beamed. Gabrielle walked up and accessorized you. The look was finished. In the mirror, the day you were planning for looked back at you. You, in the dress you'd wear to the ceremony. It felt real.
Honestly, if I'd actually like found a dress or had one commissioned that I like loved like 100%, I'd be content and excited. Wouldn't be able to be one of the two. I'd definitely be both.
You were content. Every piece was fitting together, and each moment was joyful. You nodded at your reflection and then spun around to face the others. Ma hugged around Mom from the side. Ma, it's amazing, honey. Mom took a moment to recover from being bowled over from the unexpected hug, but rallied. Mom, you've never looked better, kiddo. You twisted around, looking back at the mirror. It was the right choice. You went back to talk with the stylist together, and she helped you get things sorted. Gabrielle took more of your measurements and discussed the shoes you'd be wearing. The boutique would tailor the dress to fit you, and your shoe size, exactly. It didn't take long to wrap everything up. You thanked Gabrielle for her help and had every belief that the next time you put on that dress it would be one of the best days of your life.
Ooh.
When outside, the first thing on your mind was calling Cove to let him know you were done. You selected Cove's name in your favorites and tapped the call button. He answered right away. His voice was chirpy over the phone, eager to talk to you.
Sage!
Hi, honey.
Sage, hi. Cove, how did it go? Sage, I got it. I will be showing up to the wedding in clothing for sure now.
I'm so
Cove,
glad.
That's so good. I'm glad it worked out. He sounded sweet and a small part of you melted. Talking to him made you even happier than you had been for successfully finding your outfit. Sage, how were things for you? Cove, I did it too. Me and Dad kind of struggled but, it worked out. I'm pretty sure it's all good. You should like it.
I'm so excited to see it. Why am I not surprised this was a challenge for you? That sounds condescending as fuck.
What? I can't wait to see. Cove, I can't wait to show you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Cove,
Well...
I really think you'll like it. The shop assistant really helped out. It's the most coordinated outfit I think I'll ever wear. You heard Cliff's laughter crackle faintly over the phone.
Don't laugh at him. Leave him alone.
Cliff, you got that right. I didn't even realize that matching pants to a shirt was such a big deal. Cliff, I can respect someone who knows the secrets of clothing. Suddenly the days before the wedding seemed even longer. Now you would be in suspense. Cove, but, I should probably let you go. We can see each other in person once we get back.
I
Cove,
love you.
Goodbye for a little bit, Sage. I love you.
Oh, I wasn't expecting that. My heart. My heart. I love you too.
Sage, I love you too. I'll beat you there. See you. You ended the call gleefully and tucked the phone away. Then you pulled out your keys and hurried off to your fiancé. You also gave your appreciation to your moms for not interrupting your conversation with Cove. They had been able to sense you'd been missing him and needed that time. You parked in the familiar street to drop off your moms. With the car parked in front of your old house, you said your goodbyes.
Thanks.
Mom, thanks for letting us come along. Hopefully we didn't cramp your style too much. Ma, I'm sure we'll see you soon. You thanked them for joining you and waved until they disappeared into the house. In the car, with the scenery flying past you, you reflected on the day. You thought back to what you had put together and felt your heart flutter. The image was crystal clear. You could see yourself in it and the view of your wedding day had become that much more defined in your mind. Right on time, you entered Baxter's office for your next meetup. He was waiting there for you.
So,
Baxter, hello. Were you both able to find pieces you're happy with? Cove, I think so. It's gonna be wonderful.
He's so cute. Oh, they knew what they were doing when they made this man. Oh my god. Oh my god.
Sage, yeah. Baxter, as it should be. Baxter, what shall we be doing today?
Is there even anything left? I thought we did everything. Oh shit, the cake, that's right. Doo-doo-doo-doo. Cake time.
Let's design a cake now, Co. Baxter nodded his head, confirming that
Whoops.
he'd registered your choice. Beside you, Cove's excitement had bubbled over. He was bouncing in his seat, too eager to restrain himself.
If marble cake is an option, we're getting marble cake. And he can choose whatever icing he wants. But I want marble cake.
Cove,
Yeah.
good idea, Sage. I'm definitely ready to plan treats. His open enthusiasm tickled you, eliciting an adoring chuckle that slipped out. Across the table, Baxter joined you with a soft laugh of his own. Meanwhile, Cove seemed oblivious to your amusement. You figured he was too lost in imagining delicious cakes to notice what was happening around him. What you needed now was for someone to turn those dreams into reality. The agency had worked with suppliers of all kinds, so Baxter had a list of bakeries that they recommended for weddings. You and Cove had a few personal favorites, too. Together, you reviewed the websites for all potential bakeries. Baxter had a wealth of handy tips of what to keep in mind when it came specifically to commissioning wedding cakes for you to take into consideration. The three of you whittled away the options until you finally settled on the one you wanted. With that decided, Baxter contacted them to arrange a meeting so you could select the flavors and discuss design ideas before working out practicalities. He easily secured a time that worked perfectly for both you and Cove. That brought you to the end of the meeting.
Good.
The decision of which bakery to choose, the scheduling, briefing them on your basic requirements, had taken up all the remaining time you had with Baxter for today. The three of you rose from your seats one after the other.
goodbye
Baxter,
for today.
It's been great to see you.
Still don't like you.
Cove, yeah. I can't believe next time we see you we'll have our wedding cake picked out.
Yee.
Sage, yeah, unless the bakery cancels on us. Cove's face fell. His horrified expression broke your composure, making you snort with laughter. Sage, kidding. I'm sure that won't happen. We'll get to have our cake session, Cove. Baxter, of course. I'm sure you'll have a great time together. I look forward to hearing what you decide on. Baxter, though I won't be there in person, you can always text me if you want advice during the process. Oh, I'm pretty sure Cove's going to be on top of this, you joked. Cove puffed his chest out proudly. Cove, thank you, Sage.
Also, just because you outgrew your black and white face does not mean that your taste is good.
Baxter, MM. He waved goodbye as you and Cove left the office for the day. The light tinkling of a bell over the door announced your arrival as you and Cove stepped inside,
Clink,
where
clink,
you were
clink,
immediately welcomed by a pleasant waft of sweet scents.
Ooh.
The bakery was a delight for the senses even before you'd taken a single bite. Decked out in a pretty shade of pink, it was impossible to miss.
Let's see. What would our baker's name be? I think it's gonna be some way to C. Something like Cecilia. But I'll probably be completely wrong. I'm just throwing shit at the wall.
Cove closed his eyes and inhaled deeply. There was a soft air of cakes and pastries baking in the oven, tinged with warm spices like cinnamon and nutmeg. The display case was full of the daily selection of mouth-watering delicacies, neatly lined up and ready to be taken away. The selection ranged from intricate specialty cakes to more rustic, homey brownies and cupcakes. Usually, those kinds of treats would be everything you needed, but today was a special visit. You were entirely focused on the even better desserts waiting for you on the horizon. You could tell Cove shared your feelings. He waited beside you with every outward appearance of patience, but you could tell his anticipation by the way he kept a close watch on the kitchen door as you waited for an employee to come greet you. This uncharacteristic restraint was a stark contrast to any other time he'd visited a bakery, where he'd have rushed over to the display case and immediately began picking out cakes to take home. As he shifted from one foot to the other, you knew that he was fighting to hold back those usual urges. Luckily, his self-control wasn't tested for long. Soon the door to the kitchen swung open and a friendly-looking face emerged. Spotting you and Cove, the person smiled and began heading over. As they approached, you saw that the name on their tag said Xavier, with a little purple button pinned to one strap of their apron with the words they slash them printed in black letters.
Ah, okay.
Xavier walked right up to you and gave you a welcome so warm, you could have sworn it had come fresh from the oven.
Wow.
Xavier, hello. Thanks for coming by, Zach. Is there anything I can get for you?
Excuse me? Oh, what did you say? Zake? Or is that supposed to be cake with an X? Huh?
Cove, hi. Cove paused, pointing first at himself and then at you as he spoke. Cove, we're Cove and Sage. We've got an appointment here. His voice, which had started out measured and even, became hushed as the thrill of what you were here to do started to get to Cove.
He's so cute.
When he resumed speaking, it broke further still, devolving into a rushed whisper that Xavier needed to lean in to catch. Cove, it's to plan our wedding cake. We're getting married. Thank you for making time for us. Xavier's eyes lit up at the introduction. Xavier, of course. Welcome Sage and Cove, our bride and groom. Cove preened ever so slightly at those last words, his chin jutting out with confidence.
Oh my goodness.
Xavier, I'm Xavier, the head cake artist here. We're so happy to be working with you for such an important event. Xavier, you can take some seats right there in front and we can start talking options. They gestured to a nearby table. You and Cove obliged, taking your seats. As you sat down, your stomach somersaulted.
Huh? That says somersaulted. Not somersault as in one. Somersaulted as in more than one.
You were really here to pick out a wedding cake. The cake that would be served at your wedding.
Sure.
It hadn't quite sunk in before, but being invited to begin had made it feel more official.
I gotta go put my ice back in the freezer. I like took the whole tray out and I've just been like munching on it. I'll be right back. Oh my god. I'm chilly, bro. Okay, I'm back again.
But knowing that you weren't alone in feeling that way comforted you, and you grinned at the love of your life. Cove beamed back at you. The baker had taken a detour over to the back shelf, where they picked up a binder before coming to stand before you at the table. Xavier, I went over the info our baking assistant took when the appointment was arranged, so we can dive right into things.
Oh, nice. Coolio. Good you came prepared.
Xavier, so let's get to it. Starting with the size of the cake. How big do you want to go? We can go as big as 5 tiers high.
I feel like I might need an extra slot.
Xavier,
Because...
so let's get to it. Sage com... Saves... Oh... Saves... Oh... Sage Kamajo. Xavier, so let's get to it. Starting with the size of the cake. How big do you want to go? We can go as big as 5 tiers high.
Because I'm not exactly sure how wedding cakes work at actual weddings. I don't know if the actual wedding cake itself is tasted first by the bride and groom after they cut it, and then whatever's left is distributed to the guests. Or if there's a cupcake version made for the guests with like wedding cupcakes that are made for the guests to taste whatever the wedding cake was, but as a cupcake rather than a slice. I don't know if that'll be an option I'll have, but I saved just in case. Because if there is, I'll have a smaller cake for us and then wedding cupcakes for the guests.
Cove.
Maybe.
2 or 3, maybe. Cove tilted his head to the side as he looked to you for input.
I think 2 would be more than enough for just the 2 of us. But I'm gonna keep going until I see if there's an option for how the wedding cake would be presented to the guests. Because if it's all one thing, then I'll go with 3. If not, then 2 for us. If they can do 5, let's do 5. Like 5 seems like a lot for a wedding cake.
2 sounds perfect.
Let's start out with 2 and see.
Cove, cool. Seeing as you'd reached a conclusion, Xavier noted it down in the binder. Xavier, MHM, a 2-tier cake it is. They glanced up from the binder, smiling. Xavier, that will make things really easy to present well. Xavier, in terms of decorating, is there any kind of direction you'd want us to aim for in the overall style? Cove pursed his lips, stumped by the question. Artistic vision had never been his strong suit. Though you'd reviewed ideas for decorations and color schemes together, asking Cove to distill those visions and themes into words was doomed to failure. You took it from there and said, elegant. Cove sighed, relieved, and expressed his approval.
Right.
Cove, yeah, that's right. Xavier, we can work with that for sure. Xavier, any color ranges in mind?
Oh, it would only be one? Alright.
Again, Cove fell silent, like a kid hoping not to be called on in the classroom. Even though it was just the three of you and he had no chance of hiding, you could swear that he was shrinking lower in his seat as if hoping to go unnoticed. As entertaining as that was, you decided to spare Cove before he slipped under the table. You spoke up and said,
Honestly, it'd be between the earth shades and the dark. Because there's no beach type of one, so dark shades.
Dark shades. Xavier, got it? And what's one color you really want me to keep on the top of my mind?
Definitely blue, to be honest.
Blue. Xavier, nice, nice. I'm getting you. Xavier looked up from the binder. Xavier, right, so we're going for a two-tier blue cake that's elegant. You could picture it now. It was going to be perfect. Sage, yep, that fantastic combo is definitely our cake.
What about the inside?
Cove, who was staring at you like you'd saved him from a life or death situation rather than answering a couple of simple questions in a pleasant bakery, gave you a thumbs up. Xavier watched you both with a smile. Xavier, this cake is really shaping up. Xavier, time for the fun part. I'll be right back. They got up and made their way into the kitchen. Cove, the fun part? Cove echoed the words, puzzled but intrigued. He peered after Xavier, trying to catch a glimpse of the magic happening behind the closed doors. Craning his neck didn't grant Cove X-ray vision, but that was just fine, as you weren't kept in suspense for long. Xavier quickly returned with a large covered serving tray. Cove gasped, his fingers curling with anticipation. Xavier, careful, coming through. They lowered the heavy platter onto the table, where it clattered against the hard surface as it settled. Xavier lifted the cover to reveal several plates of little cake slices, with mounds of different frosting and filling flavors. The beautiful array of colors and breadth of the selection made for a wonderfully presented array of treats. Cove gaped, wowed by the revelation.
Oh!
Cove, we get to try samples. Xavier giggled at Cove's reaction. Given just how much enthusiasm Cove had, you bet there weren't many previous grooms whose response could compare.
Probably not. He's so excitable.
Xavier, you do. They pointed at the tray and began talking you through the selection, starting with the neat little slices of cake. Xavier, so we've got a few cake flavors for you today: vanilla, chocolate, red velvet, citrus, and such. They moved over to the frosting and fillings.
Ooh.
Xavier, there's vanilla, chocolate, strawberry, maple, and mocha buttercream. Over here we've got chocolate Y and fruity fillings. Though the inside can simply contain more frosting, if you'd prefer.
I'm trying to get my neck to crack, but it's like refusing.
Having talked you through the samples, they straightened up. Xavier, these are some of our most popular options, but not everything. You can see all our options on the order forms. As they talked, they took out 2 copies of the order sheet and presented you with one each. All of the possibilities for each element of the cake were laid out before you.
Yee boy.
Xavier, that's everything. You're welcome to eat whatever parts look appealing. Or you can have everything on the platter if you've got the stomach for it. Cove's eyes sparkled with anticipation. Knowing Cove, you suspected that he intended to take Xavier up on the offer to sample everything.
I mean, he wouldn't be himself if he didn't, honestly.
He picked up the fork provided and began systematically working through the platter. He took scoops out of the cake, frosting, and filling options in turn, moving from left to right and from top to bottom. You chuckled softly, amused that your hunch had been correct.
Mm-hmm.
Though Cove was evidently intent on eating a bit of everything, you noted that he was careful to leave at least half of each sample, in case you wanted it, too.
That's so sweet. See, even when he's just, being his regular gluttonous self, he's still thinking of me. Mm-mm-mm.
You started trying everything as well. It all looked delicious. Picking up a fork, you joined Cove in sampling the cakes, frosting, and fillings on offer. You murmured your delight to each other as you discovered new combinations and enjoyed the sheer variety laid out before you. Cove's eyes shone as he looked at you, glad to be sharing the experience. You were so enraptured that you nearly forgot that you weren't alone with Cove, but this, too, was by design. The baker stood by approvingly, careful not to do anything that might interrupt your enjoyment. You held up your fork to feed a piece to Cove.
Why would I not want to do that? That's cute.
Cove spotted the poised fork in front of him, laden with cake. You knew your intentions had been understood as a blush spread over his cheeks.
Yeah.
Even now, it was criminally easy to make him embarrassed. Still, he leaned in and opened his mouth to accept the offering. You brought the fork to his lips, and he happily ate the treat. Cove, thanks, Sage. He held up his own fork, where the bite he'd been about to take was waiting. Cove, for you.
Oh, Humby. Why would I pass? What the hell? Eat
You leaned
that.
in to be fed.
Give me that cake, son.
Cove's eyes glittered, happy to reciprocate. You bit down around his fork. The cake seemed sweeter when it was being fed to you like this. Cove shimmied happily in his seat. The different varieties had gone down very well with him. Cove, they're all so good. He cracked a grin. Cove, hey, could we get a tier for every flavor? Xavier laughed. Xavier, unfortunately we can't. At least, not in a single cake, and I'm guessing you don't want several different cakes for your wedding.
Definitely not.
Cove, yeah, we should just go with the one.
Hmm. Ooh. Alrighty. I think I'll do a couple more choices, and then I think that I might end the screen. Not right this moment, but soonish.
It's okay, Cove. We can always get cakes for our anniversaries in the future. It would be nice to taste the experience over again, year after year, especially if you could continue to get cakes from the same bakery that had provided your wedding cake.
Exactly.
The suggestion made him swoon for you. The promise of food and staying together was a perfect hit.
He's so cute. Just look at that face.
Now that you and Cove were experts in the bakery's cakes, it was time to figure out the details. Xavier, we can do the cake all in one flavor, top to bottom, or let you choose 2 sets of different flavors. What works for you? Having different flavors for the tiers sounds fun. Cove, yeah, let's do that.
Because I was going to say, if we can't agree on a flavor, and there's 2 layers of cake anyway, he can have a flavor and I can have a flavor. I don't care which is on top or whatever, as long as I have the one that I want and he has the one he wants.
Cove lifted himself up off the chair briefly to switch his position. He moved over from leaning forwards towards the tray and shifted to be situated on the side of the Cove, so, what's your thoughts? You obliged, and Gabrielle took a measuring tape from her pocket and wrapped it around you. You could tell that she had a lot of practice with how efficient she was at Cove.
Okay.
So, what's your thoughts? You don't need to stick to it forever, but were you thinking something kind of plain, chocolatey, fruity, or what? You picked up the copy of the form to review the options again. After studying it carefully, you said,
I guess
Chocolatey.
chocolatey.
Cove, okay. He rested his chin in his hand as he stared thoughtfully into the distance. A smile drifted across his face as he pictured the possibilities for your cake. Cove, what about something like a marbled cake with milk chocolate ganache on the inside and peanut butter buttercream on the outside?
Bruh, he's actually my husband. He just said marble cake. Bruh. Chocolate frosting? Oh my goodness.
That's really nice. Can we tweak a part of it?
I don't really think I want peanut butter.
I'd like a different filling flavor. I'd like a different frosting flavor. I'd like a different filling flavor. Cove sat up straight, amazed that his idea had been a starting point for collaboration with you. Cove, yeah. I'd love you to add your own thing. When it came to the inside filling, you proposed.
Whippy cream, preserves fresh berries. I mean, out of all of these, I feel like only whipped cream would make sense. I think I'm gonna go with whippy cream.
Whipped cream. That was plain. Cove leaned back in his seat, watching you curiously as he waited to hear what you were thinking. You glanced over the form again and got started on the next tier. Thinking about the type of cake you wanted, you decided to suggest.
Let's see. Out of all of these, mango cake? Question mark. I've never had ube before, but I hear it has like a sort of like peanutty kind of flavor.
Lemon cake. White vanilla, chocolate, red velvet cake.
I mean, matcha sounds really good.
Vanilla chocolate marble cake.
I think oh, my back. Oh. I think a matcha cake would be pretty cool.
Red matcha cake. For the frosting, you like the idea of
Cream cheese. Cream cheese. Cream cheese.
cream cheese. When it came to the inside filling, you proposed.
I don't think I want filling.
With what kind of garment you wanted and the desired color filled out, the question: fresh fruits or berries?
For inside the cake. I feel like inside the cake would be a little extreme. But that's just me personally. More.
More whipped cream. That was plain. Cove, who'd been nodding along with your suggestions, recapped the idea. Cove, so, you're thinking of a matcha cake with cream cheese frosting and plain whipped cream on the inside?
Yeah.
Sage, you got it?
Sounds
Cove,
good.
it sounds really good to me.
It shall be. Just wait till you taste it.
Then your mouth-watering cake flavors were all set. You were sure it was going to be a hit at the wedding. Xavier, the inside of the cake is great. All that's left now is the cover. How should we wrap your baby up? Do you like fondant? Or maybe ganache?
Ganache. Not ganache.
Cove shrugged. You said. Just buttercream.
Yeah, just
Just
would
buttercream.
be good.
Xavier, got it? Almost done. They scribbled that down in the binder. Xavier, finally, what elements would you like me to include in the design and presentation of the cake?
Da-da-da-da-da-da-da. Edible pearls.
Edible pearls. Sugar-made decorations. Chocolate-made Chocolate-made decorations. Ribbons around the tiers.
My eyes are heavy.
A bride and groom cake topper. Royal icing piping. Meringue detailing. Ribbons around the tier. And that's everything. And that's everything.
I actually can't really decide.
Royal icing piping. Ribbons around the tiers. Meringue detailing. Chocolate-made decorations. Fresh flowers. And that's everything. Royal icing piping. And that's everything. Cove, extra fancy, huh? That works for me. Xavier, awesome, we've got ourselves a cake plan. The baker's words made it official, you'd picked your wedding cake. You couldn't help being especially thrilled about that, the wedding cake was such a focal part of the party. It would be featured in photographs and shared among your family and friends, the joy of the day distilled into a beautiful confection. Just thinking about it left you breathless.
Unless he's squeezing me too tight and I just can't breathe.
You glanced at Cove out of the corner of your eye, wondering if he was feeling as excited as you were. He was leaning forward in his seat, a rapt expression on his face. As Xavier continued speaking, you pulled yourself back to the present. Xavier, I'll take all the info you've given us today and use it to think up the finished design. I'll keep you in the loop on how it's going. Xavier, though. Xavier, maybe cupcakes or cookies. Or we could do something else if there's anything specific you have in mind. You shared your ideas with the stylist. From your description, she had some. Xavier, maybe cupcakes or cookies.
Wedding pretzels? Wedding pretzels is hilarious.
We could have cupcakes. Cove, MMM. Cove's little happy murmur confirmed it. He was very content with the prospect of having more desserts. Xavier, great, cupcakes it is. The three of you talked over the details of your additional dessert. Xavier skillfully guided you through it all to determine everything from your preferences for flavor and texture to the quantity you needed. Eventually, it was all set up. Xavier reviewed their notes in the binder. Xavier, so, you're getting a two-tier cake with the elegant kind of feel that's multi-flavored? Xavier, and you're also getting some cupcakes along with it? Your heart fluttered as you imagined the cake once again, you and Cove standing over it and ready to take the first cut. The side dessert beautifully complemented the cake, completing the picture perfectly. Sage, yeah, those are our Cove bounced in his chair again, his hands clasped against the edge of the table. His excitement was as palpable as your own. Cove, this is gonna be so good. Xavier grinned, pleased to see the two of you so happy. Xavier, thanks again for coming to us for your wedding. We'll make the desserts of your dreams.
And you know what? I think that's perfect, actually.
Quit the game.
Oh
Quit.
wait, no.
Ret- ret- Are live. 1.7.1. Self-voicing disabled.
Show. It does not feel like it's been 2 hours, but apparently it has been. Time do be flying when you having fun, right? Me. So. I think I'm gonna go ahead and end it right here. I did save, so we are at a good spot to pick up right where we left off. Show. If you haven't already, go ahead and hit the description of this video so that way you can join us in the Discord, where you can participate in polls, chat with peeps, happens. Either way, if you haven't already, hit the description of this video so that way you can join us in the Discord, hang out with peeps, participate in polls, and just overall have a good time. Also, feel free to share this late ass scream with someone who just wants to chill out and listen to something in the background. Okay. And also, on your way out, don't forget to leave your likes at the door. And yeah, I'm gonna go throw everything that's on my bed in the basket, unpack what I bought today, and immediately go to freak to sleep, because it's all through my system now, which means my body will crash at any moment, and I would rather crash in bed than at my computer. So I'm gonna go ahead and go. Okay. Yeah. Losing my train of thought. I gotta go. I'm gonna see y'all most likely on Tuesday and or sooner, but it might be by blah 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 blah. I'm going. My brain is shutting down right now. Yeah, I'm gonna see y'all on Tuesday for something else. I don't know what, and most likely I will not be late. So yeah, I'm gonna see y'all later. Okay. Goodbye.